What is your feeling on the tricolor bankruptcy?
So I think it's going to be the first of maybe not many, but there's going to be other cracks that we're going to find now in the car market. So Tricolor made a lot of these banks now actually look into a lot of these books of a lot of these dealerships. So I feel like in the next quarter, 2 quarters or whatever, there's going to be a lot of other dealerships that are actually exposed. Now, what Tricolor was doing, they went bankrupt. There was a lot of fraud that was going on. So Tricolor, they were needing money and they really weren't producing the level of sales that were going to provide them with the money that they needed. So they had to leverage up their assets. Problem is, the way that they levered their assets is they actually double and triple counted a lot of these assets. When I'm talking about assets that a dealership like Tricolor, who was a big buy here, pay here dealer, their assets was money on the road. So it's loans that they have written on the cars that they had sold, and they were actually being driven around. And what they can do with those loans is then allocate those as assets to banks like Fifth Thirds, like JP Morgan, I think, was wrapped up in this too. And they went to JP Morgan and said, okay, we have all these assets. And then they took the same assets that they promised to JP Morgan, who gave them money for these assets, to the secured, their secured secured backed assets in the form of these loans. And then they took them over to Fifth Thirds and then promised these same assets. So they were levered twice now, and that's a big no-no, and you can't do that. But the reason why they had to do that is because they needed money, and when you get desperate, then you do desperate things, and this was a big-time desperation play coming from Tricolor. Obviously, one of the banks, I don't know which one was first to look into this, but there was probably some problems that were starting to surface, and that made the bank, if everything's going fine, if payments are being made, if you're not worried about how much money are on the books, these banks are probably not looking into the situation of where the money's getting lent out to. But there was some issues. Car market's getting worse. Auto loan delinquencies are now at the highest that they've ever been ever. So it's going to create some situation where there's going to be some of these banks that are looking into where their money is going. That happened. Tricolor got caught. Bunch of fraud, went under. It's not going to be the first dealership that's going to suffer this fate. And it's I don't think it's necessarily going to be a lot of fraud that's going on in the system. Hopefully not. That would be a bigger problem. That would be a boo boo on the bank's part for them lending money and not checking up on it. Never would the banks do that, right? I mean, this could be a situation that actually happens, but I don't think fraud's going to be the biggest problem here. I think it's just going to be a weakness in the market. I think there's going to be over leveraging of a lot of these dealerships that are writing a lot of their own loans. They need money to be able to get inventory. There's a lot of used car dealers that need money to get inventory. There's franchise dealers that need money to get inventory. All of these places that sell cars, it takes a lot of capital. I'm a used car dealer. I sell cars that are $5,000 and under. And if we have 100 cars on our lot, it takes a lot of capital for us to operate. We don't borrow any money, so I know how much capital it takes for us to run, and that's a lot of cash that's sitting out on our lot. And if you get through to a situation where a lot of these dealerships are borrowing money for their inventory, and then it sits for a while, they have to start paying a lot of interest. We're going to see a lot of dealerships, I think, get exposed if the car market gets worse than it is right now. The end of this year is probably going to be pretty rough, I would assume. We have car prices that aren't moving down in a meaningful way. We have incentives that are not really happening. In a lot of cases, when the car market gets weaker, you have manufacturers that add more incentives. Problem is, they're getting hurt by having to pay more money because of tariffs, because of added costs to parts, to even labor. Labor is an issue right now for a lot of these manufacturers. So when you have all these added costs, well, you can't add more money for these dealers to be incentivized to actually sell cars. So it's going to be something that does not help the car market. And I think a lot of these dealerships are going to be very weak over the next 2-3 quarters, and a lot of dealerships are going to get exposed. Hopefully, there's not a lot more bankruptcies, but But when when stuff gets weaker out there, there's going to be some casualties, and I think Tricolor is probably just the first of many. Now, there's not going to be you're probably not going to hear a ton about big dealerships that go under. Only the most mismanaged ones are going to be the ones. But you'll see a lot of you drive on the side of the highway, or don't drive on the side of the highway, but drive down the highway and see a lot of these dealers that are on the side of the road. Pay attention. Pay attention. As long as if the market continues to get a little bit weaker, you'll start seeing a lot of those dealerships go out of business. I know in my area, I've already seen a couple that have they opened recently, like in the last year, and they're already closed up because it's hard market. So a lot of these dealerships just getting started come in and think they can just buy cars and then just sell them, and it's just easy money, right? A lot of these new ones that have recently opened up, if you're not established, if you don't have customers that can come back to you and buy multiple cars, if you don't know the market already, you feel like you can just go pay a wholesale price and sell it for retail price, and it just works. They're finding out right now, and this is something I think is going to continue to happen, where we see a lot more of these small to mid-tier dealerships go out of business. Already seen it now, and then probably have a couple more instances of a lot of these big-time names, billions and billions of dollars worth of these companies that go under.
Have you considered selling your dealership and exploring other income streams?
Like 8,000 times. I wish I could sell my dealership. Nobody wants a car dealership, Ron. Yeah, Ron, I tell you what, I'll sell you my car dealership right now for $3 million. Just write me a check. I want cash from you, Ron.
To be clear, we've never tried to sell the dealership.
I've tried to sell it so many times. Anybody. I'll sell my dealership to anybody.
You have not actively tried to sell your dealership ever.
I'll tell you what, I'll sell my dealership and then I'll go play golf. Deal.
Well, what if you can keep the dealership and play golf? That's what we're currently doing.
I'd rather sell it.
All right. Just for our team's sake.
Oh my goodness. No, but that's the most secure thing that you've ever heard. Nobody's going to buy a used car dealership, sells cars $5,000 and under, doesn't charge a doc fee, doesn't do financing, doesn't sell back-end products, doesn't sell extended warranties, treats their employees right, pays them what they should be paid, and then gives them bonuses. No, that's a bad business. Nobody wants that.
Okay. Well, I think maybe a better way, for the whole team morale thing would be that you're not trying to sell the business and never have been. Well, that question derailed. Thanks a lot, Ron.
Somebody offered $1 million. It's an auction now. Oh no, it offered 1,000. No, I can't take 1,000.
Oh man.
I can come off my 3 million number a little bit though.
Would you buy a Cybertruck if it were cheap enough?
How cheap? Like
we make videos.
This thing's a monstrosity. Like, what would it have to be? And I'd say, oh yeah, like somebody drove up to my lot and said, "I'll sell you the Cybertruck for this," and I'd just be like, "Yes, I'll take it." 25,000. 25,000. I think that's the number. 30,000. But the thing about it is, I know I could just resell it. So if you take the resell ability out of it.
Resell it for what? 5,000?
No, I mean, you still sell a Cybertruck for $65,000, $70,000, I would assume. But okay, let's take out here's the hypothetical thing. You have to keep it. It's probably 30,000, 25,000 or 30,000. 30,000, I'd have to scratch my head and call my wife. 25,000, I would have to just call my wife.
Where are you? I can come to you. Would you take a special order into an auction as a special order?
No, and no. Next question.
Nope. Come on now.
So we don't give out our location. It's not hard to find. Just use your computer. You can. And we're not trying to actively hide, but we're also not trying to actively self-promote either. If you send me an email, I'm not going to tell you where it is either. Just you figure it out. But the thing is, going to the auction question, can I take someone to the auction and not to auction, but do a special order. The reason why we don't do any special orders is because when I buy that car, it's my car until I get it back to the shop, and then you purchase it. And maybe you don't purchase it, and then it's my car. Or maybe something blows up on it on the way home from auction, and then it's my car. And then maybe I buy the car, and it's not exactly what you thought it was. You don't want to buy it. Well, then it's my car. There's too many downsides to me doing special order kind of things than it is for me to just buy the stuff that I know I can sell, put it on my lot, and let somebody else buy it. Because in a lot of cases, people that want me to do a special order or want me to buy them something at auction, and they want to slide me $300, $400 to do this, it's not worth it to me, because when I'm buying and selling cars for me and what I usually do, one, I'm not taking on any risk other than the actual car that I'm buying for myself, and not having to worry about this one customer that wants this one car. But also, I make more money doing that too. I make $1,000 a car whenever I buy and sell the cars that I buy for my customers. And I don't want to, like, there's not someone who's going to come to me with a special order of a 2005 Toyota Camry with 200,000 miles on it for $2,500. That doesn't exist. They're wanting me to buy a $15,000 to $20,000 Corvette or something that's older that they can get a good deal on because they get the branding discount from the auction. No, I'm not trying to help you. I'm not trying to be a broker.
It's a slippery slope too. And the thing that a lot of people don't realize is, a new car has a specific definition. It's got right at 0 miles, maybe a little bit more, but right at it. It's going to be, certain options. It hasn't been in a wreck. All of these things are true. For a used car, there are no two that are exactly the same. So to be able to say what the price is or what it should be or to take a specific order really doesn't work.
Yep.